I want to talk about something I know that's close to your heart as it is mine. When we see, as a pastor to pastor, we see people suffering, it's hurtful. Yeah. And we empathize, and we're witnessing probably what is going to be recorded as the most devastating natural disaster to ever hit this country with Hurricane Helene. And quite frankly, and I know it's big, but the government, FEMA, saying they need more money, they can't get to the people. But what have they been doing with the money they have?
Well, I can tell you what they've been doing with it. They've been taking care of people who cross this border illegally. Look, I sympathize with anybody who's looking for a better life. And if I were in some godforsaken country, I'd probably move heaven and earth to try to get my family here. But I don't have a right to come across a border of a country without some type of identification, without some type of indication that I'm going to be assimilated into that nation's lifestyle. We may have as many as 20 million illegal people. We have no idea who they are. They can get on an airplane without an ID. Right. I cannot.
Right.
They can go to a hotel and get their rooms taken care of, and these people in North Carolina whose homes have been destroyed cannot.
You served as governor of Arkansas. You ran for president of the United States. What is FEMA's mission? Is it not to respond when we have natural disasters, to help out Americans?
FEMA has been in the past an excellent organization under both Democrat and Republican presidents. In fact, I will be the first to tell you, Tony, one of the best FEMA directors we ever had was the one under Bill Clinton. James Lee Witt. He was an excellent FEMA director. He had been a county official. It's very hard work, but he did it without any consideration of politics, none. And that's the way it has to be done. You are politically blind and agnostic when it comes to dealing with people who are going through a disaster. There can't be any consideration other than, here are people who are hurting. It's our job to try to help them. Now, FEMA can't rebuild everybody's home. They can't fix everything, but they do need to be able to show up and give assistance to the state and local governments. Disaster relief works from the bottom up. The reason the federal government is important, it can provide resources and assets that the local government simply doesn't have.
Especially if something of this magnitude.
Absolutely. This is a biblical proportion, we would say.
Of course, you would also agree, I'm sure with me, that there's a role for individuals to play, churches to play.
Yeah.
You know, we both are supporters of Samaritan's Purse. So there's a role for everybody in this, but what really bothers me, Governor, is that you have FEMA, you have Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas saying, well, we just need more money.
Yeah.
When last year they spent over $300 million in grants to immigrant resettlement into this country. Why didn't they save that money to use it for its mission?
Well, because they have a real misplaced sense of priority. You know what's tragic? Waffle House is opening in areas where FEMA hasn't been yet. Now think about that for a moment. You know, I know this will sound crazy, but a lot of people don't know that there really is in Region 6 and in the Southeast what's called a Waffle House test. If there is a natural disaster and a Waffle House is fully open, they say it's manageable. If they are on reduced hours, they say it's a crisis, but it's doable. If a Waffle House in an area closes, it's all hands on deck. This is a Class A catastrophe. Watch where they are, and I know you think I'm joking about it. I am not. That is the first phone call that disaster management people make, is the Waffle House open. My point is, Waffle House is still getting open in places where people barely can get just from their home to their neighbor's home. The point is, where is the federal government when we need them the most? And we need to thank God for Samaritan's Purse and organizations like them. But we also need to be able to say that our tax dollars are going to be used for our own citizens when they need it.
We got 30 seconds left, Governor, but misplaced priorities, DEI, focusing on everything but mission.
Yeah. Thank God for people like Robbie Starbuck, who is calling out corporations. Just today, he announced that Toyota has reversed its DEI. They're getting rid of it all. We need to push back and stand up, not in anger, not in hostility, but in gratitude for companies who recognize, stick to your core mission.
As you say, boycotts.
Yes.
Go to those that have values that align with you. Governor Mike Huckabee, always great to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Tony. Great to be with you. It's always an honor.